Howdy, it's Brian here. It's a little review of the Nikon P7000, and I've had this camera now for about a month and a half. Had a chance to use it. I'm what you'd call probably and maybe an advanced amateur. Haven't been into cameras for quite a while, but several years ago I did have Pentax ME Super SLR and several lenses and stuff when I was traveling worldwide in my career. And then I'm just now getting back into photography. This is April of 2012, and this little Nikon P7000 is proving to be an absolutely great little camera. It has some quirks, but the strengths of this camera far outweigh the negatives. What I would have to say about it is this does have, compared to an SLR, it has a pretty small sensor. The thing that's interesting about it is the quality that I'm able to get out of this camera is absolutely stunning. And I purchased this camera because they came out with a new model, the P7100, partly to overcome some shortcomings, perceived shortcomings of this model. It doesn't have a swivel screen on the back. Some other things that the Canon G12 has. I haven't used the Canon G12, but I think all around this is probably a superior camera. But seriously, the image quality that I'm getting out of this camera is just absolutely stunning. And I've taken exposures up to 11:14, and at the lower ISOs, ISO 100 and 200, I'm confident that going up to a 16:20 enlargement is going to be no trouble whatsoever. They're going to come out just great, I think. So let me see here. I want to do something here. You'll just bear with me a moment here. I'm going to prepare something here to give you a little idea. Just bear with me 1 second here. I'm going to try to fire up my computer. And I've got the screensaver. I'm going to try to give you, of course, this little cell phone camera I'm using to do this video is not going to give you great, but hopefully I'll be able to give you an idea of what this camera is capable of doing. I've got some of my work. I'm going to try to get the screensaver to kick in here, and it takes about 4 or 5 minutes, but I'll keep on with my review, and then maybe I can show you a little bit of sample. Of course, like I say, on the cell phone camera it's not going to show the quality, but I want to get on with this here. This little camera has an optical viewfinder. It's about, I think, around 90% of what you actually see. That's for using when you are out in bright sunlight or somewhere where the screen is not usable. I have a screensaver on this, by the way. I want to recommend, if you don't have a touch screen, this is a 3-inch for a 3-inch LCD. I got this out on Amazon, and I can't remember the name of it, but it had a bunch of reviews. But it's basically a big chunk of Gorilla Glass that has a special adhesive that it mounts on there. Compared to any other screen protector, this thing is the king of screen protectors. It's a nice big piece of Gorilla Glass. It's got good adhesive. Because of the way it's built, it doesn't get bubbles and all that crap you get with most screensavers. I highly recommend it, though, if you can find it out there. Just look at the reviews and you'll see you find a screen protector out there that's a little more expensive than the others and is a thicker piece of protection, and you'll see the reviews are excellent on it. Then you'll probably know that's probably the same protector, but you can see there, you can get a pretty good look at it there, but it's just perfect for this. This camera, there's some videos out there that are more professional than what mine's going to be, but I want to tell you from using it for the money. I got this camera on closeout because, like I said, of the P7100, and I paid $228 for this camera, and the image quality I'm getting out of this is nothing short of spectacular, just spectacular. And I'm pretty picky, and as a matter of fact, you know, I've been out there and I've bought this camera, got back into photography, and I've already got the itch to get a better, you know, I'm thinking I need a bigger sensor, because this is about double the size of a point and shoot sensor, but it's considerably smaller than the APS-C or the even the Micro Four Thirds or whatever it is. But they're smaller than the SLR sensors. But this camera, you know, is not an SLR, but if you can live with the shortcomings of the camera, if it fits into your needs, sports photography, this camera would not be good for, because you know, it's not going to compete with your high dollar. But I'm going to tell you right now, for image quality, and if you don't need to do sports photography, this camera, if it'll meet your needs. I've been looking around, and to get the features I've got in this camera and similar lenses, I'm going to have to go up to professional grade cameras to get the quality I'm getting out of this camera. I've seen sample stuff out on YouTube, and I am getting better quality images out of this little sensor than people are getting out of the APS-C sensors. And I think it's mainly the lenses. And the bigger your sensor, the bigger the glass has got to be on the lenses. And yes, you got a bigger sensor, but at the same time, although that would be a plus in some ways, it's a negative, because it's going to magnify any imperfections in your lenses. The lenses are much larger, the glass is larger, and therefore the potential for error when they're grinding the glass, the optics, or any other thing, any design or engineering problem is going to be a lot more noticeable on the larger sensors. And this is why, from what I've seen, to get similar features I've got in this camera, as far as, for instance, I like to do HDR photography. And this little camera, I can select between 3 and 5 exposure bracketing. For some unknown reason, to do 5 exposure bracketing, I'm looking at the D7000, which is a semi-pro camera. It'll only do 3 exposure bracketing. I still can't do 5. I spend $1,200–$1,300 for a body only, and it won't do what this little camera will do. To get 5 exposure bracketing, I don't know exactly what I'm going to have to spend. You know, a lot of money. And then consider the lenses. To get the quality and the sharpness I'm getting out of the lens on this camera, I'm going to have to invest a couple thousand in a body and several thousand in lenses. And unless you're going to blow up stuff larger than 16 by 20, or if you need a lot of low light photography, you're not going to be able to get, you know, I'm talking about the lower ISOs, the ISO 100, 200 shots. You can blow these up to 16 by 20. Now, if you're going to shoot in low light and stuff, then you're going to be better off with even the lower price SLR. But if you can shoot and you're going to be in regular light, you know, this has 720 mode, 720p HD video. It's not the greatest video camera, I'll admit to you. Probably if I was doing video, there's a little Sony point and shoot that's about $300. I don't remember what the model number is, but it has beautiful video, better than even the SLR videos. Here again, you'd have to spend a ton of money to get better video in an SLR than you can get with that little $300 Sony. So this is not the choice you'd do for necessarily for for video. But the features on this camera is outstanding. The feature set, the bracketing and all that. It's got quick menu. It's got several dials here. You don't have to fiddle around with going through the screen. It's got this quick button here, quick dial. This allows you access to your ISO, your white balance, your bracketing mode, and information. This camera has a full histogram. It has a balancing meter to make sure the camera is level. Things that you're going to only find in pro level cameras is on this little. Basically, the bottom line is this little camera was actually, I think, designed for professionals, and that's why they gave you the quality that they did. In this price point is because it was for professional use. It's for a pro to throw in their bag when they don't want to lug, or they're in a situation where they can't lug their SLR around, or they may not be able to get an SLR into certain functions if they aren't licensed to shoot photos or whatever. And this camera is closer to a point and shoot. You can street photography and everything. This is a lot easier to use, easier to carry, and it's a lot less. People don't know you're a professional when you're shooting with this camera. I will say though, I want to say just in general with photography, it is a big enough camera to attract a lot of attention in today's hypersensitive homeland security situation. You pull a little camera out like this, and within minutes you're going to have security guards and maybe even police, giving you the evil eye. A lot of times they don't approach you, but they'll sit and watch you. You almost feel like you pulled a semi-automatic weapon out of your pocket or something. They're watching you on all these video cameras, and you whip this puppy out and start taking a couple photos, and you will attract attention. That's been my experience anyway, and it's a little bit annoying, to be honest with you. I don't want to get off on that tangent, but yeah, it's a little bit, I don't know what this country's coming to, but that's enough said on that. As for you police, if any of you Homeland Securities are watching this video, they make cameras now that are the size of pinpoints that are in ball caps, and every cell phone has a good video camera and still camera. Someone that's has ill intent is not going to get a camera like this out. There's plenty of ways to get video without being noticed, and so paying all the attention that you're paying to because somebody gets a camera like this out is frankly a waste of money, and I'd appreciate it if you'd knock it off. That's like I said, that's far enough on that. This also has the mode dial on the top here, your standard modes and everything, but exposure dial. There's lots of buttons on it. It has pretty good accessibility to everything without going into the menus, but I'm not going to get deep into this because there's a lot of other video out there on this camera, but I just wanted to tell you from shooting with this camera, if you want to get the quality that I'm getting out of this in good light situations, and you're not moving, moving, something that's going to move around a lot on you, that it doesn't have super fast focus, but it's good as far as speed goes. The focus is super sharp. The macro lens on this camera is stunning. Most all the shots I get at the lower ISOs are just absolutely stunning. They really are. It amazes me the quality I'm getting. And I look at these YouTubes and I look at these samples of these SLRs that are double the price, and I'm not happy with the quality I'm seeing. In a Nikon, I'm going to have to go up to I think they call it an L lens or L quality, which is, you're talking $3,000 for lenses up in that. And that's what you're going to have to do to do a whole lot better than this. But it's not right for everyone. But if you're just wanting to take HDRs of landscape and and even portraits that are controlled environment. This you can do. This thing will use Nikon lighting, the speed lights, and you can even do a certain amount of controlling additional lighting, the speed light control, and you can put a controller module on here and control. You can't do everything you can with an SLR, but you can do a lot for this type of camera. But really great little camera though. The quality is just absolutely stunning. It really is. It's not super fast. You'll find the JPEG mode is almost as good as the RAW mode, so the RAW mode's a little slower, and you'll see people complaining about that, but you don't really have to use the RAW mode. You can. It just here again, if you need really high speed, that could be a problem. But for general photography where you don't need super high speed, this camera, the quality is really stunning. Really, I just love this little camera. And a little discouraged that I'm looking at going out and spending a couple $1,000s, but I'm worried that I'm going to spend $2,000 and not be happy as I am with this old camera, and spend because this is like a 28 to 200 millimeter zoom. Plus, it has a beautiful macro lens capability. Just imagine the amount of money I'm going to have to spend on lenses to get a pro quality image with a full size sensor. I mean, like I said, I'm talking thousands of dollars to approximate the quality I'm getting out of this little camera. Okay, so enough said. This is a great camera. You can still buy them out there on Amazon. They've raised the price a little from when I bought mine. They're up to about $280. But I'd urge anyone who can get one before they run out to do so, because this is a professional grade tool, and I don't care what you want to say about the image sensor. 16 by 20 in the lower ISOs are beautiful. They're just absolutely beautiful. So, the size of the sensor, it makes you wonder, how I can go and see these APS-C sensors in the lower price SLRs, but they're full size. They're not full frame sensor, but you know what I'm saying. The standard SLR, the beginner and intermediate SLR sensor, and the image quality is not as good as what I'm seeing with this camera with the little teeny sensor. So there's a lot more that goes into the quality than just the sensor. Also, the color and the gradation in this sensor is absolutely beautiful, just stunning is what it is. So I'm waiting around trying to find a product that's at a decent price. Been looking at the Sony NEX7, and that's a maybe. But I'm still not sure exactly what I want yet. But I don't want to spend $5,000, to do what I'm doing with this camera. So anyway, if you can pick one of these little cameras up, I would do it. The 7100, the P7100, is also probably a very good camera. It's basically the same camera, but has an articulating screen on it. Can't say much about the Canons. I'm sure they're a good little camera, but they don't have as long a lens as this does. This still has a pretty good size zoom on it, but it's not too big to where you lose image quality. The Canon lens is a little shorter than I like. I do like to go up to some of my photography. I do go up into the 120 millimeter range or so, even sometimes a little further than that. I like the look of that. On street photography sometimes, and can't quite get the distance I want out of the lens on the Canon, but I'm sure the Canon's a good camera too, though. But and Canon has a new camera out that's got a bigger sensor. It's built around this kind of design, though. Has one fixed lens. Hopefully it's very high quality, and I like that whole idea. I really don't see the reason to have a mirror slamming around in there anymore. I understand why we needed it when we had film, but now that we got these sensors that can see what you're going to shoot, I really have a hard time justifying why we need to have mirrors in there anymore. But I understand that, but if I ever buy an SLR, it's going to have live view, I can tell you that. But anyway, I'm going to try to give you a quick look at some of the work. Realize this is a crummy cell phone camera, but you do take my word for it that these images I've been getting with this camera are stunning. This is the screensaver, on my TV. See if I can get up here and give you an idea here, and hopefully you can see, maybe get an idea of the clarity and the stuff I'm getting with this P7000. This is just straight off my TV screen. There's some downtown shots at night. Here again, shot with low ISO, probably ISO 100 or 200. But this is full screen on a 42-inch TV. So these images are blown up quite a bit on this TV. This is a 42-inch LCD. So this is a pretty largely enlarged image, and even though you're probably not going to see fully the quality, it'll give you an idea of what we're getting here. I kind of wish these night scenes would go, and I'm trying to get through these here, and then I'm going to end this video. It's getting pretty long, but see if we can get some color scenes here. There's a little scene I took, image of a lake, a little park here in the area. These some of these have been HDR'd, as you can tell, some of them. Hopefully you can see, I don't know how this will look on YouTube, but I can tell you that these are pretty stunning images out of a camera like this. They really are. So I'll just try to give you a few more minutes here of, see until we get some other images here. Give you a few more just to give you an idea. Like I said, take into consideration this is just shot with a cell phone, but they're stunning images. They're really clear too for the size of how far these are blown up. This image you're looking at is 3 feet tall and about 3 feet wide, so that's a little macro mode, HDR'd macro lens, and I'm just learning how to use this camera. Look at that image. That's stunning, isn't it? Just beautiful, clear. You can read the sign on that building if you're here in person. That little sign up on the wall of the building, you can read that sign. It's so clear in person here. There's another HDR'd photo taken with this camera. Beautiful, just beautiful. Look at the skies on those. Absolutely gorgeous, I think. But hopefully you're getting the idea of the clarity that you can get with this camera. The lens quality is stunning. For $200, I'm going to tell you right now, that's the best deal I'm ever going to find on a camera, I can tell you right now. It just really blown me away on the quality, and like I say, I'm pretty darn picky on the quality. I'm going to try to get a little more down level so we don't have as much of a parallax error as it looks like I'm getting here. Trying to hold this steady enough, but like I say, I'm probably going to lose quite a bit of quality from this crappy ass cell phone camera, but I'm telling you right now, these images are 3 feet tall and 3 feet across, and they're razor sharp. That lens and that sensor is giving me laser sharp images. Now if you go above 400 ISO, you're going to have to stick to an 8x10, but I've gone to 11x14 with ISO 400 and they look great. That one I shot blurry on purpose so there shows movement in the train. Yeah. But let's see here. Boy, this is going to be my longest video of all time. Hopefully it's not going to be too long for YouTube. But different HDR effect shots, but just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous images. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? See how you can see inside the windows and everything? Hopefully we'll get on to a new topic here in a minute with these photos. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes of photos here and then we're going to end this video. But hopefully the quality, this will give you some idea of the quality you can get with this little camera. They're just stunning, they really are. The images are beautiful out of this camera. Feature set, you're going to have to spend a lot of money to get a better feature set. It's the little Nikon P7000. Different HDR exposures. Just experimenting around with the camera. I'm relatively new with this camera, so you can imagine what you could do if you knew what you were doing. Another example of the macro. Beautiful, gorgeous macro lens on this thing. And that's handheld, no tripod. Handheld with no tripod. Beautiful. It's my kitty cat. That's not HDR, that's straight out of the camera. Then there's the HDR version. HDR macro. Bradford pear blooms. HDR macro. Bradford pear blooms. Handheld. Those are ISO 400 shots at my church. The gradation and color out of this sensor, now that's bluff over the Missouri River, that's also HDR'd. This is straight out of the camp. No, I believe this might be HDR'd here too a little bit. Nighttime shot. Another nighttime shot. These are on a tripod here, I believe. That's HDR version. That's plain out of the camera there. There, look at that macro shot of that tulip. That's handheld. Beautiful. Just stunning. Anyway, folks, I think this is going to about do it. I hope you enjoyed this. Highly recommend you pick up one of these little P7000s. May not be the best